Good, whatever the time of day or night it happens to be while you're watching this. My name's Max Furno. I'm the media and graphic designer for Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service. As always, we've got the man who can always get a haircut, even during lockdown, Tom, our media resources technician, and he's here working his magic behind the cameras.
Hello everybody.
And we'd like to welcome you to the podcast. This time we're coming to you from undisclosed locations in Dorset and Wiltshire. And we've got Felicity Williams. I'm going to check this to make sure I get it right. She's our Workforce Development Manager, and she's going to be doing the narration bit for us later on. So many thanks for Fliss for stepping in, and it literally was the last minute for doing that for us. I think that's all the introductions done. We'll watch that in a minute, but stick around to the end because Tom's going to be reading some of your emails that you've been sending in to us. But all that leaves me to do is to say, Tom, run VT.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Felicity Williams and I am the Organisational Development Manager. Whilst I am normally based at Poundbury, like many of you, I am now working from home with these two. I'm very excited to introduce this month's podcast, and with the help of my two trusty assistants, we're going to take a look at what the service has been up to over these last couple of months. You ready?
Here we go!
Over the last few months, the service has continued to provide its prevention, protection and emergency response during the coronavirus pandemic. Crews on station have maintained their availability to respond to incidents, adopting different ways of working in line with government guidance to stay safe and keep the public safe. Many of our staff have been working from home where they can, and much of the service have been able to operate and undertake its normal activities, albeit in a different way. Our teams have been creative in developing different ways to protect and educate the public. Our Safe and Well advisors continue to provide safety advice to those who really need it, making over 900 phone calls as well as physical visits to the homes of the really vulnerable.
Our education team have pulled out all the stops by turning to our YouTube and social media channels with lots of fun but educational videos to help children like me understand how they can stay at home during lockdown where schools have not been able to provide this input. Education Officer Caroline Jackson has beautifully illustrated our COVID-19 many superheroes to get some key safety messages across to the children. Wilma wash your hands, Stephen stay alert, Kobe keep your distance and Holly keep healthy. Go to our website where the superheroes have quizzes, colouring sheets, make your own costumes and even star in their own comic books. It's pretty cool. That's it from me. Over to Iris.
Every week there's a new DWFire story time, how to draw and meet the firefighter. The resources are free and cover all areas of the school curriculum, including maths, literacy and art. I think they're great. That's it for me. Back to Mummy or Fliss, as you may know her.
There has been a huge amount of work to respond to the increased risks of wildfires and the increase of incidents where barbecues and bonfires have gone out of control with serious consequences. And to support the increased risks on our roads during this time, we have developed educational material which received national interest. At the same time as maintaining our service, it's been heartening to see so many of our staff volunteering to support other agencies during the pandemic. As trained and experienced emergency response drivers, some of our firefighters are now driving ambulances. They are transferring patients to and from hospital alongside a clinician and are also acting as first responders for some life-threatening calls with a paramedic. Many of our staff have been supporting our communities in a range of ways, by helping to package and deliver food and medication to vulnerable members of the community, helping to construct, fit and train NHS staff in the use of respiratory personal protective equipment, or PPE for short, and face-fit testing of PPE for ambulance, NHS and staff working in care homes. We have also had a number of firefighters supporting the temporary mortuary facility at Poole, which for the time being at least is no longer in use. Just before we had to curtail our youth engagement programmes, we held pass-out parades for Warminster Salamander and Wareham Spark students. Our Salamander programme takes young people over the age of 12 and trains them in the use of real firefighting equipment over the week-long course. The Spark course was delivered in partnership with Ansbury for young people from the Purbeck School in Wareham. The achievements of the young people involved in these courses were celebrated by family, friends and distinguished guests during their pass-out parades, where the students demonstrated all of the skills they had learnt. Although our youth intervention team are unable to physically deliver courses at the moment, they continue to support young people who are engaging in ongoing courses. The Prince's Trust delivery team have supported 8 unemployed young people through the final 5 weeks of their 12-week programme, and our cadet staff continue to work with fire cadets across the service area to complete coursework and fun challenges. A minute's silence was held on Monday the 20th of April 2020 at Westbourne Fire Station in honour of firefighter Simon Kay. Simon was taken ill during a routine day shift at Christchurch Fire Station. Despite valiant attempts by his colleagues, paramedics, doctors and nurses at the Royal Bournemouth Hospital, Simon sadly passed away. Simon was a firefighter for over 30 years and served at stations across our service, and before that in West Yorkshire. He was an experienced and skilled firefighter who was highly regarded by his colleagues. Flags flew at half-mast as fire services and stations across the United Kingdom showed what a supportive community the fire service is by paying their respects and joining in the minute silence for their fellow firefighter. Our thoughts at this very sad time are with Simon's family and friends. In response to the Grenfell Tower inquiry Phase 1 report, which was published in October, we held 3 high-rise fire evacuation exercises at the Fire Service College in March. Crews from across the service, both training centres, corporate staff, Dorset Police, our volunteers and fire cadets took part in the exercises throughout the day. The exercises gave us an opportunity to develop best practice for carrying out total evacuations of high-rise buildings, including protecting fire access routes and procedures for evacuating people who require assistance.
We hope you're sitting comfortably, as next up we are going to look at some of the incidents we have attended.
Over 50 firefighters tackled a blaze at Gibbs Marsh Trading Estate, Stolbridge in March. Due to the amount of smoke that rose from the fire, locals were warned to keep doors and windows shut, especially those that had pre-existing respiratory problems. Our crews worked hard to contain the fire to a single building and were successful in preventing any spread to adjacent businesses. This meant the business affected and others on the trading estate were able to return to work quicker. A large fire broke out in Chalmington Manor House in April. Dozens of firefighters, including Devon and Somerset crews, tackled the blaze. The Grade 2 listed buildings suffered significant damage to the roof and much of the second floor, but the ground and first floors were saved. An initial fire investigation has suggested that the fire was started by accidental ignition during renovation works. A major incident was declared at Wareham Forest in May, as over 175 firefighters tackled a large fire affecting 220 hectares of heath and woodland, an area the size of over 230 football pitches. In order to deal with the fire, firefighters were deployed from every station within Dorset and Wiltshire. We also utilised the National Coordination and Advisory Framework to secure national assets and support from Hampshire, Devon and Somerset, West Sussex, Royal Berkshire and South Wales. This included high-volume pumps, command support vehicles, specialist wildfire and off-road capabilities, as well as a helicopter that helped us with both reconnaissance and firefighting. As the fire was over such a large area, it was a challenge for us to get the right resources into the right locations. Using drones and working with our partners in Forestry England, we were able to ensure our crews were used to maximise firefighting effect. Also, within the surrounding area was a water treatment works and a number of residential properties, including one which had to be evacuated as a precaution. Due to the rural nature of the area, we had some difficulty sourcing an effective water supply to deal with a fire of this size. Hose had to be run from the River Piddle over 5 miles away. Working with Forestry England, fire breaks were cut using their specialist equipment, and Natural England tended to assess the impact on the flora and fauna, rescue animal life and take steps to start the recovery process. Please visit our website for information on how to enjoy our countryside responsibly.
We hope you've enjoyed our podcast.
If you'd like any information about anything that you've seen in this podcast, please visit our website.
Stay safe. Bye!
So many thanks to Fliss there for doing such an excellent job on the narration. Tom, what have you selected out of our bag of emails this time?
Hi Max. This time I've selected friend of the show, Harrison. He's emailed in to say, "Hi Max and Tom, love the podcast. I'm doing the Salamander course at Warminster Fire Station and spoke to Tom. What's your option on a camera crew like you two doing firefighter training so that if you an incident, you can help out if needed?"
I think that would be a very bad idea. Tom, what do you think?
I concur, that would be a very bad idea.
I forgot to mention earlier on that obviously you can see I'm filming outside, and the neighbours two doors over are having some work done on their house. So apologies if there's any banging and crashing going on. You'll just have to bear with me. Tom's going to do his best to edit it out, I'm sure. But Tom, you actually saw Harrison at the Salamander course he was on.
Yes, Max, I saw him down at Warminster Fire Station. Harrison and the rest of the students from the local area. Really, really good exercises they took part in, RTC exercises, working with the trucks and hoses. So
let's get back to Harrison's question about me and Tom putting our camera down and picking up a hose at incidents. Obviously that's not going to be a good idea. I don't think my eyesight would pass the physical test anyway, because without my glasses I'm really blind. I don't know about you, Tom.
No, I'm just checking now. I'm not too sure about my eyesight either, but we'll see.
But within the service we do have a lot of corporate staff that do a 9-to-5 job, but they also are trained firefighters as well, and carry pages. So if there is an incident, they're able to leave their normal 9-to-5 day job and rush off to the fire station and respond for us in that way as well. So that works out. It's kind of what Harrison is talking about there, I think, Tom.
Yes, like on call.
That's it. Yeah, on call firefighters. So they carry pages. We've got a few of them in the service, but that we do. I need to pay thanks to our local communities for all of the employers that let our firefighters leave their work and come and respond to incidents for us, and also to their families during the night time when the pager goes off and they have to rush out at 3 in the morning or whatever. And I think Harrison's got another question for us as well.
Yes, Harrison goes on to say he's excited for the next one. He has another question. In America, when ambulances are responding, fire trucks go with them. Do you think UK firefighters would do that? And thanks for making him a friend of the show.
You're very welcome. Let's hope, and it's good to see that you're carrying on sending us questions in, because normally what happens is when we make someone a FOTS, we never hear from them again. But back to your question there about American firefighters responding to the ambulance. We sort of kind of do something similar, and I'm thinking about Lyme Regis and Bedminster Fire Station, where they have what we call co-responder crews. Basically what they'll do is, if there's a medical emergency within their local area, they'll actually respond as medics, well, not as medics, but they'll respond to to administer first aid until a paramedic crew can arrive and deal with the situation, I don't want to say properly, but do you know what I mean? What we're finding is in those sort of remote areas, it's the ambulance crew have difficulty maintaining cover, so our firefighters are able to get there and much quicker, and hopefully, deal with the incidents as best they can. They've obviously had proper training and stuff, so I do know it saved lives, so it is working really well. Possibly something that might happen in the future is we may find that we get sort of emergency services centres. So rather than having a police station and a fire station, we have a sort of combined police, ambulance, fire service station, and maybe you would have specially trained, sort of multi-skilled responders who, depending on whatever the incident was, would they would just go to a fire, or they would go to help someone that needed medical assistance, or possibly a member of the public that was needed police assistance, for instance. So it's a few years down the line, I think, but in order to save money, I think it would be. And I think this is obviously my views and not the views of the service, but I think a few years down the line we could start seeing these sort of centres cropping up. Tom, have we had any other emails?
Yes, Max. New emailer Callum, but he's actually been a guest on the podcast before, has sent in, "Hi Max and Tom, love the podcast. I just watched the last one, very entertaining as usual, but I wanted to point out that what I was showing you in the video isn't calves. That is actually a foam concentrate. As far as I'm aware, it's just our man appliances that have CAF systems and not our Dorset scanners."
Yeah, so Callum did a piece for us a while ago where he showed us around some of the equipment on a fire station, and we had a similar question come up last week, and Tom played a little clip of it. And obviously I got it completely wrong, which is unusual for me, to be fair. So yeah, it looks like there's a difference between CAFs, or compressed air foam system, and the foam concentrate, I think, that Callum was talking about there. So apologies for getting that wrong. Two different systems. Callum knows best. He knows his stuff. So I would imagine I would imagine it's a. I don't want to say anything in case I get it wrong again, but I would imagine that they would be used for similar sort of firefighting types. But thanks for writing in for us, Callum, and putting the record straight. So I think that brings us nicely to the end of the show. If you want to get in contact with me, then you need to be able to spell my surname. If you can do that, then you can email me at max.furno@dwfire.org.uk. Tom, how can people get in contact with you?
People can get in contact with me at thomas.dryden-kelsey@dwfire.org.uk. And if you've got any questions,
I'll answer them incorrectly for you, that's for sure.
and if you'd like to see anything in future episodes.
Okay, if you want to check out our stuff on YouTube, there's loads of stuff there at YouTube/DWFire. Also, this podcast is available in your app of choice. We're hosted by Podcast Garden, and thank you very much for them for hosting it for us. You can go and have a look at their website and have a look at all the other shows that they host. I'm sure you'll find something suitable there. I think that's everything. All it leaves me to do is to say the show has been expertly produced by Tom and presented, and I use that word in its loosest possible form, by me, Max Verno. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, no, I don't have a catchphrase, but then I'm not a presenter, I'm a graphic designer. Tom, fade to black.
Goodbye.
Brilliant. Time for a boiled egg.
This is a very salty thing. And Ray Ray said, no, celery is very salty.
I may, no, I've got that wrong because something came up on the screen there and I was trying to read what it said. Okay.
With yes,
With Blitz, yes.
yes, with this, yeah.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Brilliant. Well done, Tom. See you in a bit. I'll stop recording. Bye.